Happy New Year! Happy New Year, friends! Another trip around the sun, another 365 and a quarter days, another year of new experiences, new learnings, and new beliefs. Speaking of new beliefs, I want to talk about an old one. Because it's 2025. I remember hearing it's insert current year, it's time we have this or do that around the mid-2010s. It's been used to argue for different progressive issues. Now, at its core, it's a fairly straightforward argument. We're progressing through the years, so it's about time that a certain progressive issue is normalized or legalized or celebrated. Guys, it's 2025. It's about time we have this or that law. It's 2025. It's time we normalize this or that behavior. Guys, it's 2025. It's time we celebrate this or that controversial issue. You have to say it with an arrogant, matter-of-fact tone like, duh, isn't it obvious? What about it is obvious? What is it about the inevitable march of time that we have to act in this way? The argument hinges on an ambitious hypothesis that all progressions are inherently good. For example, and this is only to demonstrate the concept, if you plant a seed, it will grow into a seedling, which is better than a seed. Give it enough time, and that seedling will become a tree, which is better than a seedling. And if you give enough time for a tree to grow, it will bear fruit, and the fruit is better than the tree. My overly simplistic analogy aside, there's truth to this intuition. Give things time and they turn out better than they were before. If you keep doing something, then you'll eventually reach a desirable outcome. But I'm sure you can see the cracks to the logic. For one, most actions are actually neutral. If I move my hand from left to right, is that good? If I take a step forward, is that good? It's not, but it could be. And that's the second thing. How do we know that something is good? Moving my hand left to right doesn't look good on its own. But if it's to use my left hand to get something from the right, then it's good because of a goal that I've set. And the goal or the purpose is external to the action. And so what or who sets the goal for progression? Which leads to the third. Even if something or someone sets the goal, how do we know that a progression moves toward that goal or not? I could take a step forward, but if the goal is to move backward, then not only have I not fulfilled the goal, I'm also in a worse position than before. It's a simple argument that's also simple to refute. In fact, no one uses this argument as their core thesis for their beliefs. It's more of a cherry on top, a coup de grace. Something to make your main argument more convincing. But why? This intuition actually originates from science. The scientific knowledge we possess grows and continues to grow over time. We can trust that as the years go by, the knowledge we gather continues to expand, and the results and applications we reap from them will do good. Now, this makes sense for science, because knowledge is what we call a transcendent good, a good that you can have more of without ever running out. It only makes sense that we gain more knowledge over time because it never runs out. But somewhere down the line, the wider culture made the mistake of making science the only reasonable and believable truth. And along with that comes all the truths of science applied into places where it doesn't apply, including the belief that all progressions are inherently good. You can notice this belief when you try to argue the other way. If I say, it's 2025, it's about time we go back to tradition, it won't be easily accepted. Some will say, it's because it's in the past and not the future. Some will say that it's not the way things have been going. But beneath it all is a belief that tradition is against progression. And to a more general extent, against science. Now, there's nothing wrong with science. But scientism, the belief that science is the only arbiter of truth, we're gonna have a problem with that. Now, obviously, disproving one argument doesn't make the other argument true. But it's a good exercise to challenge our biases and beliefs. Because if our beliefs don't stand up to scrutiny, it's probably not true. So it's time to look into why we believe the things that we believe. After all, it's 2025. Yeah, I'm back, guys. Thank you for having me, and let's have an exciting year ahead.